I am so honored to get to share with you what the Lord has been saying for 2024. I don't know if you know or not, but we have an Apostolic Council of Prophetic Elders, 50 prophets that meet at the end of every year to hear the word of the Lord. And then we have another 200 prophets that come together for the global prophetic consultation, and we had 32 nations represented. So just want to share just a few minutes with you. As we come into this new year, the Lord spoke to us there. We were moving from Psalm 23 to Psalm 24. What does that mean? Well, God gave us Psalm 23 because it's a comforting message coming out of the pandemic last year. But this year, Psalm 24 is a very strong passage. It's talking about having holiness, and then it's talking about being strong in battle. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty in battle. And the King of glory is going to come in. And so we're in a season that we are really in a war season. And what the Lord was telling us is that He is calling watchmen, warriors to arise. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that if we will stand and watch, we won't get the war in the natural that Satan wants to bring. I see that Satan wants to really escalate the war in Ukraine and the war for Europe, against Europe. But the Lord just says that if people still stand and pray, that there will be time to still push back the war, that it will not happen. And we need wartime intercessors. So if you're an intercessor or you have a prayer movement, please get in the gap, pray and stand. I know many of you are. And the Lord also showed us that as we are coming into this season, that it is important to be able to bless Israel and to keep praying. And it could be that God will escalate and wrap things up quickly because the human suffering in Gaza is so huge. And so I want to say to you, Europe, especially Eastern Europe, has a very special calling. You have so many gifts. I see an entrepreneurial gift that's going to arise out of Eastern Europe. And many, many business leaders are going to rise, new business startups. This will be a time for the Josephs to arise. And I see that Romania is the apple of the Lord's eye. And I see that God is going to touch your government leaders on such a level that you are going to be ones that are going to be kind of help lead for a region in many ways, and that God is going to give you strategies. I see there's a great battle. Satan wants to tip the government the wrong way that will be not righteous, but the Lord says that I desire to tip it the right way. And I just want to say to you that this is a season where God is doing a great work. Hungary, I see that Hungary is going to be a shining star as well for Eastern Europe. And what do I mean by that? I mean economic blessing, economic prosperity. And it's time to pray for the economy. And, we just had a lot of prayer here in the U.S. We prayed at all the banks. We prayed at the Treasury Department. We prayed at the Federal Reserves to be able to stabilize the economy. And it seems like it has been working. There was talk of great recessions and so forth. So even though it's still tenuous, we still, know that things were stabilized. So I want to say to you, stabilize your economies. And if you do that, they will become very, very strong. The other word that I get is worship Eastern Europe. That God is going to bring together coalitions from every part of Eastern Europe to have a time of worship, like a worship festival. I don't know who will actually coordinate that, but God is going to do that. And it's time for the prophets to arise, because the Lord has certainly put the prophetic word into Eastern Europe. And I just want to say, don't be quiet, Eastern Europeans. Don't be quiet. This is time to speak up. This is a time we need your voice, and we need your voice in the nations of the earth. You are critical to what God is doing. And I want to say over Alpha and Omega Television, this is a time of expansion. This is a time of property ownership. And this is a time to gather together the prophetic voice of the Lord. You've been a voice of the Lord in communication for television, and now you're going to be a voice of the Lord on a new level for the prophets as well. So, Happy New Year. It's so good to get to visit with all of you, and God bless you richly.
Fă o investiție înțeleaptă. Investește în Împărăția lui Dumnezeu. Pune o sămânță a credinței în lucrarea Alfa Omega.